Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. So I'm on the Ocelot Pro from Magicycle. Yeah, time to give this thing a little bit of a range test. Now, we're going to do this one a little bit differently. The last couple of range tests I did for the other bikes, they were dedicated range tests. Not with this one. I think we're just going to ride this bike. And at the end of the day, we'll find out how many miles we got out of it. How's that? That's kind of the same as what we did on the other ones. But I'm not going to technically call it the range test. I find that the minute I tell people it's the range test for this bike, yeah, there's less people that watch it. But really, the last two bikes that we did, we just rode it around. But because it was a dedicated range test bike, I didn't talk about anything except for the range and about that bike. Now, we've known Magicycle for a while. We have a pretty good relationship with them. I think they know. Yeah, we have some good things to say about Magicycle in general. So I think they'd be okay if I just rode the bike like I normally ride the bike. And we'll find out how many miles we get at the tail end of the whole thing. Now, the Ocelot Pro, as you might know, is a 52 volt, 20 amp hour battery in here. It's a big down tube because it's a big battery in there, which means this is going to take a while. Yeah, this is not going to happen quickly for us. I expect that we're going to have some decent mileage out of this bike. And so I'm going to ride it just like I would normally ride it. I'm going to throttle it. I'm going to pedal it. All right. You can see right now we're doing about 14 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour, give or take, something like that. And yeah, we'll just ride it like we normally do. Now, I didn't do anything really special to this bike in terms of adding a lot of things. I put a cell phone holder here. It's a temporary thing. It's not the permanent one. I put a different bell on here, which is my bell that I've been using for the last several bikes. Yeah, I bought a bunch of them. I bought 10 of them from AliExpress. And so, and then I put the 3D printed thumb throttle on here just to make it a little bit easier for myself to throttle. And remember too that this bike does have the cruise control feature. If you hold it down to whatever speed you're going for at least 8 seconds or so, and then you let go, that speed remains, okay? So it has to be at least around 8 seconds for it to kick in. So let me just hold it for a little bit of time here. Yeah, give or take about there. So we're on cruise control at this point. Now the key is for the cruise control is you don't want to pedal forward because that will unlock the cruise control. And you don't want to hit the brakes because that will unlock the cruise control. So if you want to maintain on cruise control, you just don't pedal or pedal backwards if you need to readjust your legs. Just don't pedal forward, that'll unlock it. Now let me pedal forward for a second here. So now that I moved it forward, I'm slowing down in speed because the cruise control got stopped, see? So, now one thing we all said that it would be nice is if there was a dedicated kill switch for the cruise control as well. That would be nice. But that's a future thing that they can address. So where are we going? I don't know. I figured I'd go down in this direction. Haven't gone in this direction in a while. I don't have a rear view mirror on here because I am waiting for the one from Magicycle before I put it on. Because if I put another mirror on here, I'm just going to take it off later and put the Magicycle mirror on there. So I figure I'd wait. Everyone's waiting for that guy to make a decision. Was he going to cross or was he not going to cross? So that slowed everybody up. Now, because I don't have a mirror on, I will be looking over my shoulder every now and then just to see what the cars are doing. So this particular lane is a shared bike lane, meaning we share the road with the cars. Hopefully the cars know that. Sometimes they don't. They don't give you much space. So I usually take a third of the lane. I don't go right up to the curb. That forces them to move over if they want to pass me. And it also keeps me safer because I'm not crammed into the curb because of it. Now, typically, I will throttle up really hard over here just to get out of here as quick as I can. But yeah, I don't care today. I'm just going to keep it at the general speeds. I've been doing 18 to 22 miles per hour, it seems, for these last battery test rides. And so I'm going to maintain that as well with the Ocelot Pro. Hey, did you guys know that there is a standard Ocelot available now? Yeah, you can get the non-pro version of the Ocelot, which is less expensive. Go and check on the website, you'll find it. And what they did is they just took the 20 amp hour battery and turned it into a 15 amp hour battery, still 52 volts. And then they took the hydraulic brakes off of it, took the hydraulic fork off of it, brought the motor down in torque ability, and so they have a less expensive version of this bike. I think they kind of figure this bike is going to be pretty popular because it is a true step-through model, and it's low enough in seat height and the like that if you're not a very tall rider, you can ride this bike easily. And if you are a taller rider, you can still ride this bike pretty easily. I am 5'10", and I have the seat up to its maximum level. On these bikes, typically there is a minimum insertion of the seat post, right? So you don't want to be too high up there. You still need to have some post inside the tube. So I have it as high up as it'll go before you reach that level. I typically like to have full extension because when I'm pedaling, I want full extension just like a regular bike. I don't have the ability to sit on the saddle when I'm stopped at a stoplight or stop sign. I have to get off the saddle, otherwise I will tip over because I'm that high up. And really, that is the way to ride a bike. I mean, you want a little bit of bend in your knee when you're extending, but you want a decent extension. If you're all crammed up in there, you can't pedal very well. Alright, so we're going to throttle hard to get past this light. I always throttle hard to get past the intersections because I don't want to stay by the intersection any longer than I have to. They say that intersections is where most of the accidents will occur because cars will pass through red lights and hit you. Things like that, So my pedal assist will be at pedal assist level 2 and 3 most of the day till the battery exhausts. So we're going to talk about other stuff too. We're not just going to be talking about this bike and things, whatever we see. It's like a regular ride today, plus the benefit of finding out how far this bike will go. All the Halloween decorations are out now. I'm looking, and some people go all out. And I don't know. Depends on how you feel about Halloween, I guess. I remember as a kid living in Chicago. These are in the days when we didn't fear for what happens to kids by themselves on the streets. Yeah, we'd go on our own. Well, actually, the girl who lived upstairs from us, she would take us around. She was a little older than us. And she would take me and my brother out. My sister was too young at that time. And we would go and hit up all the different places in Chicago. We'd come back with shopping bags full. I'm talking about paper bags, grocery bags, shopping bags full. Like 2 of them per person. You can imagine how much stuff we collect. Yeah, we'd go right after school, let out. We'd hit up the streets, come back for dinner, go back out again. Nowadays, I don't think kids can really do that much. You gotta have the parents go out with them or something, you know, they gotta watch the kids. You know, my sister got older, my neighbor and I would take our sisters out. They were the same age, the neighbor's sister, and he was a little younger than me. I think he was 1 or 2 years younger than me. We would ride our bikes while my sister and his sister would go trick-or-treating, and we would just hang out and talk while the kids were getting their treats. And sometimes the parents would see us out there with the bikes, and then they would give them some stuff and say, "Hey, give this to your brothers." So we'd get stuff too. All right. So I'm heading in this area because I remember there was a park that we'd gone to a couple times. I don't remember the name of the park. I don't have directions to it, but I know it was down in this general area. So I figured I'd ride and see if we can figure out where that is. I think, let's take a left over here. Let's see if we can figure out how far to go before we run into that. Well, obviously not here. Let's go this way. Yeah, my phone is basically here as a GPS to get me home in case I get lost. Okay, we will take a left over here. What do we got here? Okay, no cars. Oh, by the way, I was looking at the speedometer again as I was approaching stop signs and the like. Yeah, it still shows I do like 8 or 9 miles per hour as I pass a stop sign, but in reality, I'm nearly stopped. Yeah, the speedometers don't react that quickly when you hit a stop. I mean, it's not like instantaneously drops the level. It kind of hangs there for a while. So it tends to make it look like you're still moving at a fairly fast clip. And then also the GoPro footage with the ultra wide makes it look like you're really going fast, even though you're really not. We're doing about 15 miles per hour right now, something like that. But I bet you it still looks pretty fast to you. But in reality, it's not that fast. It's not moving that quickly. Yeah, the Ocelot Pro is a pretty nice bike. It's a small enough bike that almost anyone could ride it. It's big enough so that even larger people can ride it. Yeah, it's kind of good right in between for everybody type of bike. So I predicted this bike was going to do very well for a Magicycle. I think it has already. I think it's done pretty well. A lot of you guys I know pre-ordered your bikes when they announced it, when I did an announcement about this bike way back when. And now you've got your bikes, hopefully, by now. And for those who were thinking about this bike but haven't ordered it, and they said, well, it's close to the end of the season, maybe I'll wait till next year. You could, but I'll tell you, as you get closer to that spring season, you know, right after winter, people start thinking, maybe I should buy a bike. It's going to get tougher to get bikes. That's usually what happens. So I think we find that people order bikes. They may actually order bikes way early, even though they can't really ride it during the winter. Don't order it anyway and let it sit. Might be a smart idea to do that, quite frankly. Especially the way bikes and e-bikes have been for the last couple years. It's been really hard to get bikes. People have placed orders and had to wait and wait and wait. Hey, you might as well do that during the winter, you know. Place the order and then just let it sit there. It's the same thing as waiting, but at least you have the bike, and then by the time the season comes around, you're ready for it. And if you're able to get the bike early enough, you might be able to get a ride or two in before the season's over with. People have asked me, how long do I plan to continue riding? Well, as long as I don't freeze to death, I'll be out here riding. I won't ride in the snow, as I told you guys. It's a little much for me. I don't prefer it. I don't like it, quite frankly. I don't like the slippery feeling of it. So yeah, I won't be riding during the winter when there's snow, but I will be riding as long as I can handle the the winter temperatures. Okay, now where's this place? I think it's to the right. Yeah, it's to the right. Let's go to the right. So the key is to keep an eye on the temperatures. Now, right now, like I said, it's around 67, 68 degrees, something like that. Is it over here? Let's try this. Yeah, I think it goes further in the other place. This is one part of it, and it kicks into the other section. All right. Yeah, I'll continue riding as long as I'm not too cold. Last year I was able to go until December. We had a pretty decent weather up until December of last year. I don't know about this year. I think this year might be getting colder. Might be a tough winter this year. I don't know. That's what I've heard. So as long as the weather isn't too cold, I'll head out. Somebody asked me how cold would that be. I said, I don't know, 50, 47, 50, something like that. I wore a winter jacket last time, and wore a winter jacket last time. Still had my vest on, a safety vest, because the vest is big enough it goes over the winter jacket. And video recording in this lot. Okay. And I wore a little hat, little knit cap underneath my helmet. Thin one, not a real thick one, otherwise it kind of defeats the helmet's clamping ability to clamp it to your head, right? No, I don't think so. I think we have to go up the other way. Okay, let's go back. Because this thing was taking me out of here. Don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. It's off to this side. So yeah, I think if you get enough stuff to keep you warm, you can continue to keep riding. And then I'll switch from my bike gloves to a full fingered glove. No, this doesn't cut through. I knew there was a way to cut through here somewhere. I don't know how to get there. Let's go back around. Must be further down. So yeah, I'll keep riding as much as I can. So what about during winter? Yeah, good question. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Yeah, there'll be videos. It's just a matter of how we approach the videos during the winter months. Yeah, I think it's further down. All right, we got to get away from this. Let's check for cars. It says indoor pickleball. Everything's turning into pickleball. Whatever happened to tennis? Tennis has been changed into pickleball. Why did they call it pickleball? Who gave it that name? I don't know. Alright, I don't know where we're headed. I don't know where that is. Let's go forward. Let's see where we're at. This here is a dedicated bike lane. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Especially when you don't have a rear view mirror or a side view mirror. You know, people have asked me about those rear view cameras. You guys have seen those? Put a camera on the back of your seat post or something, and then you have a display screen in front. You know, it's kind of hard to put anything around this thing. How would you do that? It would be kind of hard for here. Where are we at? Quentin. Yeah, let's go straight. Let's do a little bit of exploring. This is Fremd High School, it says. Right on this way here. Yeah, let's go further up. I don't think I've gone past this before. What road are we on? Illinois Avenue. Yeah, let's go forward. Let's see where it goes. Haunting Ridge, enter if you dare, it says. Somebody changed their signage. Okay. That gives us a little bit something different to see. We haven't gone down here ever before. I think at one time we went to this school for an orchestra thing for my daughter when she was in high school, or maybe she was still in middle school. I'm not sure. Some type of competition, some type of, she was playing violin at the time, some type of orchestra competition thing. I think it was at this school. Let's just keep going. Let's see where this takes us. You don't know unless you try. I don't know what this is. What does this say? Oh, it's an elementary school. Hunting Ridge Elementary School. Okay. Alright, so according to this this bike, we're down 1 bar already. Trip is only 5.7 miles. That's pretty quick to drop 1 bar, I think. I think most of the other bikes, when I dropped 1 bar, I think I had about 10 miles or something like that before I dropped 1 bar. Wonder if the cruise control was eating up all my battery. It's possible. You know, pedal assist level 3, I'm getting about 13 miles per hour on it. What happens if we hit 4? Whoa, 4 brings us up. 4 eats up a lot of wattage too. There's a wattage meter on there. Eats up a lot more power. It's a lot more powerful though. I had modified the pedal assist levels on this bike. I gave it 9 levels of assist. Roselle Road, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to have to turn around. We'll just do a turnaround on this block and go back. Yeah, I gave it 9 levels of assist so that I had some in-between things, and the lower levels, 1, 2, and 3, have a lesser ability. So that way, you know, you're not immediately jolted, because the Ocelot Pro, when you hit level 1, right out of the box, is 40%. That's a little high. I think it takes until level 4 for me to hit around the 40% ranges. So, oh, no outlet. I can't do that. Okay, well, we'll keep going this way. And so just having some ability to get some lower power levels while pedaling, I thought was important. Otherwise, you're at 0, and then on the next thing you know, the next level, at level 1, you're at 40%. That's a little hefty. These are all no outlets. All right, we're just going to take a U-turn. We're just going to go back. It's too confusing. Some of these areas too confusing. So yeah, I made a modification. Now, I still need to do a video to show you guys how to make the changes to the menu of this bike so that you can change the levels. But in the meantime, if you're desperate to find out, and I haven't made this video quite yet, is take a look at the second Magicycle Cruiser review that I did. Okay, I don't know what month that would have been. What would that have been? May? June? Something like that? 2022. If you look at that particular video, it is the same menu. All right. So everything that you do on the Cruiser is also applied here towards the Ocelot Pro. It's if you want to change the levels and things. You could also put a slight delay. I actually put a slight delay into the levels, so that once you hit the acceleration, it's a very, very slight, subtle delay before it actually kicks in. I prefer that because sometimes you accidentally bump the throttle, or you accidentally move the pedal, and you don't really want it to go taking off on you. So it hesitates just that short millisecond or so. I don't know how many milliseconds. It's less than a second probably. I put a delay of 1. I did initially put it as a level 2 delay, but I wanted a little bit more quicker response. So I put it at 1. That way, just a little tap, a little tap doesn't do anything. You see, it doesn't do a thing. But if you hold it a little longer, then it takes at that point. So I prefer to do that. So take a look at that particular second review of the Cruiser. Adjust your Ocelot Pro the similar way, and then you'll see where there's, I don't remember what it's called, it's something that has some type of delay function on there. You'll see on that video, I put it on a 2. I moved it to a 1 now. I'm more used to the bike now, so I don't need to have it delayed that long. So 1 works best for me. And then 9 levels works best for me, because then I can have 1, 2, and 3 could be adjusted way down there. Give me some ability to go slower if I wanted to. Yeah, I know our days are numbered as to how many more videos we can do while riding live riding. I think when we get towards the winter, I'll run video in the background while we talk about other topics and stuff during the winter months, because we really can't get out there. Somebody asked me to do some things on maintenance. Well, I could, but how much maintenance things there really needed to be done? Most of the bikes that I have now are still relatively new. I mean, they just came in, really. So I won't have a whole lot of maintenance things to do for every bike. Only the bikes that I've ridden lots of. The Cruiser, Magicycle Cruiser will need to be done. The Red Rover 5 probably would need to be done as well. I haven't ridden that bike that much this year. I took it out to Botanic Gardens, but I haven't really ridden it all that much this year. I had other bikes to deal with, so. All right. So what you hear is not the bike, it's a motorcycle next to me. Yeah, our time is limited, but weather's decent right now, so it's good to be out. Okay, name this type of motorcycle that's next to me, you motorcycle enthusiasts. You should be able to tell from the growl. Yep, it's a Harley, for those who don't know. Harleys have that specific type of growl to it. You don't hear that on any other type of motorcycle. Okay, we should be going soon. Where's our light? What happened to our light? Well, some lights are just way too long. Quentin Road, this is a major street. That's probably why. Alright. That's about time. Now, I have the cable to my audio recorder is holding me up here on my seat. I think I'm wrapped around here a little bit. There we go. I was pulling my audio cable down. Let me readjust a little bit here. This is one of the reasons why I really don't like having the recorder attached to my belt behind me, because the cable will just pull me down. I usually, when I had the Cruiser, I'll put the audio recorder in the front basket and run a cable to me, to the transformer for this the microphone that I use. Now, people have asked me before, why don't you just switch to a wireless mic? Well, because I like the sound of this mic. This mic in general does not have much wind noise problems because of the way that they constructed the windscreen on it, and the audio quality is pretty good too. So that's why I don't switch it. Wireless would be nicer and easier, but I don't think you're going to get the same audio quality. Many people have mentioned to me that the audio quality on my videos are really good. Well, that's the reason why. It's an expensive microphone, but it is a wired microphone. I think they made these microphones for the main purpose of it was for plays. People like actors, they would weave it in their hair or do whatever to hide it, but it was made for stage production type things. So and then the transformer would probably connect to a wireless transformer at that point, but since I don't have the wireless transformer things, I have the standard transformer. We have to use a cable. It's okay. This is not a huge production, right? This is just okay. Here's where we wanted to go. It's just it's a bike video for YouTube. It's fine. All right, this is what I was looking for before. We just went the wrong way. We were here, I think twice before. This year, just once before. Some of you might recognize it. lot of new people on the channel now may never seen this before. This is part of the Palatine Trail, it says. Some people have asked me why I don't tell them where I'm at. Sometimes I don't know where I'm at. Sometimes I have no clue what it's called. I find it, I go on it, that's the end of it. So, I think the one in the western suburbs, people are asking me, where is this trail? I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I just saw it, and I says, hey, here's a nice thing to try. Then I went back a second time. So, I think we found out the name of it. I forget again, but if you look on the videos, sometimes you see signage. So I just went back and I went and looked through the signage stuff again and hit pause, and I think we found the name of what the trail was called. I think it was actually 2 different trails, I think. And people are always friendly in general. Some people aren't. Most people are. They'll give you the head nod, they give you a smile. Sometimes they give you a wave. I remember the first time I went on this trail, I saw snapping turtle. What I had noticed a lot this year, going on our 3-mile path, we usually go around in circles. It takes 3 miles to go around it, that's why I call it the 3-mile path. Notice a number of snakes on the path. It's a little alarming. You know, I see these people, they'll be laying down, having a picnic. I go, man, I would never lay down there now that I know there's snakes in that area. Not me. I don't know how you feel about it, but not me. Yep, this way. Now I remember. Now I remember that if you go the wrong way, you have to turn back around. So here, if we just went around there, just go back around. But in the past, we took it to the left, went into the little parking lot area thing, and then we came back out. So let's do the same thing. Show you around. Yeah, we're down to 70%. We're at 8.4 miles right now. I have been throttling a lot today, probably more than I have been on the others. I have a gut feeling that's going to affect my range today. Oh yeah, okay, now I remember. I went off this way, and then there was the swimming pool. Is this the same swimming pool area as we saw before, or is this a different one? Because didn't we just come through here? Maybe it wasn't this one. Or maybe I just didn't go far enough, or went the wrong direction. Wasn't that the same swimming pool? Let me see here. Yeah, it is. Because there's that water bottle again. Okay, I'm going to turn around. We'll go back. Kids are playing on their little jungle gym thing. Yeah, I just didn't go down this path. If I had gone down this path, I would have been where I wanted to be. Okay. Alright, let's head back there. Now obviously we're coasting right now, which does not take any battery. I think you still have to add that into the mileage because it's just the way you're riding, right? You're doing a real world type of range test. Well, you coast, you ride, you pedal, you throttle. Interestingly though, on the last one that we did this to, I think the advertised range is like 70 or 80 miles. We got about 30 miles out of that. This is why I say you really can't trust what the manufacturers tell you for the mileage. They all exaggerate it to the point where unless you weigh like 120 pounds, riding on flat terrain in ideal conditions, you're not going to get that 70 to 80 mile range, okay? But they all do it. Whoa, close call for the squirrel. He decided to keep going past me, right by my wheel. Yeah, so the Ocelot Pro is doing pretty well as far as riding ability. I feel pretty comfortable on it. I don't have any issues with it at all. .2 miles. Was it at 66%? How did it drop so fast? I don't think we're going to get as much range out of this as I thought. Not the way I'm riding today. It's okay. It is what it is. All right, I'm back up here. I should have turned the other way. I seem to do that all the time on this path. I seem to take the wrong turn all the time. I'll take a wide U-turn here. I should have turned over here, and yet I went straight. I should have turned here. This will get us back. So you might wonder why this cell phone mount is so close to the display screen. Well, it's a clamp-on type of mount, and it needs a thicker bar to clamp onto. Anything that's thin like this, it doesn't have enough to clamp onto it properly. All right, I think we go this way. And because of that, the only thick part is closer to the display screen, so I had to move it closer there. I hope to find a better solution for it. I think maybe the handlebar extenders are better. No, we should not have turned here because we end up in the wrong place again. Yeah, I remember this path is very confusing. You take the wrong turn, you're off in another area. And I remember once I did take the wrong turn. I ended out on the street level, and I didn't know where I was because I said, why am I off on the street that I didn't see before? Well, that's why. There's a lot of entrance points and stuff here, I guess. Alright, we'll be passing these people again. I think this will be the third time I've passed them. They're probably wondering why I'm going around in circles. Because I don't know where I'm going, that's why. I have no clue where I'm at. Alright, we'll have to hit them with the bell this time. Yeah, they're going, there's that big guy again on the bike. He's going around in circles. He doesn't know where he's going. It's true, I don't know where I'm going. Okay, this is right now. Now I begin to recognize some of this stuff. Yeah, the colors on the trees are changing. Some of them are starting to turn a little yellow. Some of them are turning a little reddish. Well, that was a small turtle. Very small one. Looked like a little box turtle. There are some little water ponds here, and I think that's why we're getting those turtles. If you're not careful and you're not looking, you could run those things over. Really small one. All right. We're back out. Let's go this way. This is the way we came in. And we'll cross the street. Get on the other side. Now we're doing about 20 miles per hour. Bike route. No cell phone use in school zones, it says. Lady was on her cell phone. Maybe they mean cars should not use cell phones while in school zones. I don't think they meant the lady walking and holding the cell phone. Alright, let's go to pedal assist level 4 on my programming. We're down to 53% at 10.6 miles. Now, how did that happen? How did the mileage drop so much on this bike? Was this battery not fully charged? I believe it was. The last time we took it out, I charged it up. Is it going to surprise us at the tail end? Actually, a couple of the bikes did that. The Jaguar Rundy surprised me with a lot of additional mileage right on the 1 bar level. Yeah, it hit 1 bar, and I think it went from like what I thought was going to finish at 23 miles. It went up to like 29, something like that. Another bike did that too. Which one was that? Is that the Vanpowers? I'm not sure. One of the other ones did the same thing. It kind of surprised us at the tail end, gave us a lot of mileage right at the tail end. So maybe it'll do the same on this one, I don't know. Don't know. Now the tire pressure is sitting at 20 pounds of pressure per square inch, which is where I typically leave most of the 4-inch fat tires at. It's 20 pounds of pressure. Some of them can handle more, but I leave it at 20. Now, what do you think of these neighborhoods? This one has a pretty wide width for a street. Some streets are so narrow that you know, you're wondering if you can even get past if there's a parked car. This one you have space to do it. So what is this road up ahead? Let's see what it says. Palatine Road. Okay. Oh, the saddle that I'm sitting on is the Giddy Up saddle. It's not the big one. It's the more traditionally styled saddle. It has LED lights that are blinking. Okay, I think we will go after this one car, but they're slowing down, going up. Readjusting my helmet. X-Needle helmet. I have the microphone directly dead center in front of me, right between my eyes. So sometimes I want to get that out of my vision. So I have to readjust sometimes. Tilt it back a little bit. Now because I don't have the front basket yet either for this bike, as you know, 2 of them were sent out. One got put on the Jaguarundi, and the other one said it was delivered, but obviously I never got it. So they sent me out another one. I think it's coming from China, along with the mirror. So they're resending it to me. Okay, this way? No, I don't think it's this way. I think it's the other way. We gotta turn around. Let's turn around here. So, water bottle. Let me grab some water here. So here's what I did. This is a bag that was given to me from Magicycle as well. I just put it back here, and then I rubber band it to this to keep it from falling off and bouncing off. Oh, let's turn that on. That's the blinking light. Not the best way to do it, but hey, it fits in there. That's what it looks like. All right, step through. There we go. No outlet. All right. I guess this was not the road to go. Yeah, I've been throttling a lot today. I don't think I can actually call this a true range test for this battery. Alright, we're going to retitle this as a real world range test, mostly throttling. How's that? Mostly throttling. Well, here's the reason why. The last range test I did was for another bike recently, and the bike finally gave up after running for a number of miles, and we're good? Yeah, we're good. And then it died just about a mile before before I was able to get back home. So I had to pedal that bike. I had to pedal that bike almost a mile with zero assist. And so, yeah, and that lady was talking to herself. Kind of like me, I'm talking to myself. And so, well, let's pass this light here. So I had to pedal it back for 3/4 to a mile on zero assist. Luckily, that bike wasn't that heavy in comparison to others, and I rode it all the way back on pedal assist level 0 with a gear ratio of 1, so on the lowest gear that it could go. And although I didn't feel the strain, you're pedaling pretty quickly on it, and you're only going like 6 or 7 miles per hour. I felt like I was crawling. So that kind of tired me out. I was going to take another bike out just to do a ride with it, but I was so tired out from that, I said I can't do it. So I just stayed home and edited the video and called it a day. Sometimes you wish you can keep going and keep going and keep going, but nope, couldn't do it. After 20-something miles of riding, couldn't do it. Okay, I don't know what kind of fertilizers people are putting down, but it's smelling up this entire area. Yeah. All right, this area here is right in that cross section. There is where we'll usually turn, and then we can get onto the hill test at that point. But so far, this Ocelot Pro is the king of the hill by 0.3 miles per hour. The Cruiser came in at, what was it, 13 miles per hour. That was its lowest setting going over the hill. The Ocelot Pro came in at 13.3 miles per hour. So it takes it as the king of the hill. Let's go up over here. let's go around in circles over here. Yeah, on occasion we take this path as well. But it's been a while since we've been on here, so I figured, hey, why not? Let's do it. Currently at 47% battery at 13.3 miles. It doesn't sound too good. Yeah, like I said, some of the other bikes, one bar we were getting 10 miles out of it. But then again, then they start to drop faster too. So we don't really know. We don't know when it shows one bar, if it's truly one bar. You know, what could that really represent? Could that even be 75%? Could that be less, left, or less? So we don't really know. But right now we're sitting at 47% and only 13.5. So if we were to extrapolate that out, let's say that was roughly 50%, we should be getting about 27 miles out of this. The thing is, I don't think that would be the case, and the reason is because a lot of times these bikes, once you hit below 10%, the battery starts, that's pretty much like it's gonna about ready to die. I think one of the bikes before, I think, what was it, the Cruiser? I don't know. Maybe it was the Jaguar Rundy. Well, I think by the time it hit like 7 or 8%, it was pretty much dead at that point. So you really can't say that it will bring you to 0% to get you full power. It will die out after a certain amount. This is why if you do this test on your own, you got to be near home when you get those final mileages out of there, because you don't want to be, well, like me, I was out almost a mile when that other bike finally gave up. I thought I had enough to get me back, but it didn't. Yeah, and 1 mile's not so bad, you know. But if you were several miles away, man, you don't want to be riding these bikes at 0 assist. The bikes are too heavy. Add my weight to it, man, it's not an easy pedal. Now these guys are playing pickleball. Pickleball is the big thing now. It's like doubles tennis almost, huh? Little paddles, different kind of ball. All right, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put you guys off on pause for a while, and then I will start up again as we get closer towards the end of this ride to find out how much mileage I'm getting on this Ocelot Pro. Stay tuned. Time for an update. I'm at 24% right now, with the trip meter at 29 miles. So, yeah, this is a little bit different than what I expected. Let me tell you a little bit more about it as I'm riding. So I was monitoring the mileage, and I kept thinking, wow, I'm not going to get good mileage here because the meter had dropped so quickly. I was not expecting it to be dropping that fast. But ultimately, it dropped down to, let's say, 44% and just stayed at 44% for a long time. A lot longer than I thought it would. And I was looking at the mileage and I said, wow, I'm not going to get good mileage out of here. But it just kept staying at around the 44% range. Next thing you know now, here we're down to 23% finally. I'm at 29.3 miles. We're gonna break 30 miles with this bike. I'm kind of surprised. But this tells me one thing: you can't trust meters. I don't care what the meter tells you, it's not right. I think all I can trust at this point with some of these meters is that when it gets down to a certain level of almost exhausted, that's when it's probably going to exhaust. But even then, I thought I would exhaust, and it didn't. Like I said, the Jaguar Rundy gave me like 6 more miles on 1 bar. Another bike, I can't remember which one it was, kind of similar, sat at 1 bar, gave me like another 5 miles or so. So you really can't trust it. This is why you need to know what your actual mileage is going to be based on how you ride and where you ride and everything. And you can't base it on the percentages that you see. I mean, based on this, all right, if we're at 22% and we're at 29.6 miles already, I'm going to say that this thing is probably going to be able to go down to where it says at least 10%, because I think every bike I've seen has gone to at least that level. And don't trust that it's going to go to 0, because some of them cut out at 7 or 8%. It already cuts out on you, and it's not going to give you any more. But based on this, and every time I've taken a best guess, I've always been wrong. Although I think the Vanpowers one, I was pretty much right on the money. I guessed 23, and it gave me 23. But based on this, now what I'm seeing and how this meter is moving, and where our trip meter is currently, I'm gonna guess we're gonna do 32, 33 miles. And we just broke 30 at this point. We've got at least 3 more miles out of this thing. Probably more. Now this is a 20 amp hour battery. I have been throttling most of this time. I have pedaled a little bit, but I would say I've probably been throttling, I would say maybe 80% of the time on this particular ride. I was just a little tired out from last time's rides. But the throttling has been relatively conservative. I've been staying at about 16, 17 miles per hour, give or take, most of the ride, and then a little bit into 18. Haven't really gone that much further past that. And so of course, as you're throttling, when you get up to a stop sign and you stop, and I have been stopping, my typical rolling stops at the stop signs, and then starting up again. I throttle to get that up there, so it typically will bring it to over 900 watts of usage just to pass the stop sign. So here, I would typically do this, come up to about like this, and then I would move. Now it says I'm moving 9 miles an hour, but I'm practically stopped. I'm literally practically stopped. So yeah, you can't trust what the meter tells you as far as speedometer when you're at the stop, because it takes a while before it reaches 0, even though you are almost at 0, because I could feel the full hesitation there. But yeah, the minute you hit the throttle, 900 watts it says. Higher than 900 watts. Because we know that these motors go way past into the 1,000+ watt area. It's a 750 watt motor, but it peaks a lot higher. So we're at 21% right now at 30.6 trip meter. Overall, I say we did pretty good. We're doing pretty good. You know, I'll put a graphic at the end to let you know what the final result is. But we already know this is the longest range battery so far of all the bikes we've tested up to this point. So the Ocelot Pro, best on the hill test. It did better than any of the bikes that I have. Best on the range test so far on its stock battery. Now we don't know the end result, but we're already past higher than the highest we've gotten up to that point. Pure step-thru model. It'll accommodate shorter riders and taller riders. I'm 5'10". I can pedal this bike pretty well, you know, with decent extension. You know, the thing is with bikes, when they tell you what the maximum height of the rider is, if you're not getting the extension you want and you're taller, just get another seat post. Get a taller seat post. Yeah, it's true. It's not that hard to get. You can go on Amazon and just get the correct diameter, get one that's taller. You know, if you're only shy by an inch or 2 inches to get you the optimum seat post height, buy another seat post. These things aren't that expensive. What could they be? $20, $30 maybe at most, I would think. I don't know. I didn't look it up, so don't trust me on that. I'm just saying it can't be that expensive. But it'll get you to be able to ride a bike that maybe you're just shy by a little bit. Why not? You know? All right, so we'll throttle up a little bit here. Speed limit is 40 miles an hour on this road, and street emptied me out into it, so I'm on it. And now I'm off it. That was a wide turn. I can smell people are burning leaves. They are burning leaves. I remember that smell. I don't think you can legally burn leaves. Don't think it's the other kind of smell, because I know what that smells like too. Yeah, not me. Never partake in any of that stuff. But I know the smell. I've worked in law enforcement, you know. Those are leaves smell. Those were leaves burning smell. It was not marijuana. Although I have ridden past places and driven past places, and I could definitely smell it. But it is legalized in Illinois for recreational use, supposedly. But I think you could only do that in your own homes or something like that. There's something where you cannot do it in public is what it is. Although I remember being in San Francisco and smelling it, and that was out in public. So 20%, 31.6. We're way past the best so far. I would have been thinking I would have been done by now. I didn't think this thing was going to hit 30. It just didn't feel like it would, considering how fast it dropped from the 100% level. So on this meter, it hangs around longer than you think, and then it gives you a longer range at the end of it. Well, there's a bunch of kids running. This must be like the track team or something. Yeah, I would be at the back of that pack. Kind of like this guy. Actually, he's doing pretty good. I'd be way back. I would be way back in that pack if I was running as a kid. I was never good at running. I hated running. Yeah, I hated running. Okay, I would run if we were playing baseball or something like that. If I had to run around the bases, I would run, but I wouldn't run for the sake of like cross-country running. No way. That would not be me. But I could do hours and hours of martial arts. Everyone has their strengths, their preferences of things, right? My preference was I could do hours and hours of Taekwondo, literally. But ask me to run, I'd say no way. I'm not running. Now I do hours and hours of bike riding. I do. Sometimes I pedal, sometimes I don't. Today I didn't pedal as much. I relied a lot on the throttle. They say typically if you use a throttle, your range will be less. Not on this bike. Not on this bike. We did pretty good, I think. Did pretty good. 19%, 32.4 trip. Well, I don't know how much further. Okay, now we're down to 18%. Okay, it's going to start to drop pretty soon. Again, I'll let you know what the total end result was for the total mileage and what percentage it actually showed when it finally kicked out. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. A lot more rides to go before we can't do it anymore. I think we got some decent weather still, at least in the 70s. We'll continue to ride. I'll talk to you guys next time.